Alrighty, everyone. Welcome back to DSP versus the internet. I think what I'm going to do, because I have like 45 minutes left, I think I'm just going to do maybe one extra long part, or maybe I'll split it. I'm not sure. Because I want to keep rolling and have to be splitting and stuff. Let's get to the next video. Let's see where it takes us. But I'm debating if I'm going to do two more parts or one part. I have no idea why when I go full screen, my capture device is doing this. Let me check this out again. Now it didn't do it. I have no idea. All right, next video.
Today's tea drinkers usually have an option of black tea or green tea, sometimes white tea if it's a fancy place, but back in Victorian England you had the option of beef tea, the ideal beverage for the infirm and convalescing. So thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this video as we tea some
beef tea? So you're brewing a drink out of beef? Wouldn't that just be considered like beef stock? Isn't that beef stock?
beef, this time on drinking history.
Let's see.
So the first time I ever came across beef tea was when I was researching a video on Civil War hospital food. And it seems that during the 19th century, hospitals made a lot of beef tea. So it has been on my to-do list for quite some time, and some time is here. But as I looked for a recipe to actually make, I was kind of like, these are really, really simple, because basically every recipe is just take beef, put it in water, boil it, and drink the water. That's beef tea.
So it's not even tea. Because tea is made from the leaves of tea trees or, you know, some kind of a tea leaf. It's not tea. You're just making a broth or a stock out of beef then.
Once in a while, they would put the beef in a jar and submerge that in water and just let the juice kind of concentrate, and then you would dilute it with water to make beef tea. But I finally found a recipe that is ever so slightly more complicated, and it comes from one of Victorian England's celebrity chefs, Alexis Soyer, in his 1851 cookbook, The Modern Housewife, or Ménagère. Soyer's new way of making beef tea. Cut a pound of solid beef into very small dice, which put into a stew pan with a small pat of butter, a clove, 2 button onions, and a saltspoon of salt. Stir the meat round over the fire for a few minutes until it produces a thin gravy. Then add a quart of water and let it simmer at the corner of the fire for half an hour, skimming off every particle of fat. When done, pass through a sieve. I have always had a great objection to passing broth through a cloth, as it frequently quite spoils its flavor. So is it more complicated than all of the other beef tea recipes? Yes, but still pretty simple, because it's basically just strained beef broth. So to make it, what you'll need is 1 pound or 450 grams of beef, and you want the least fatty beef that you can find, so there's less skimming. 2 tablespoons of butter, 1 single clove, 2 pearl onions, a quarter teaspoon of salt, and 1 quart or 1 liter of water. So first, cut your beef into, as he says, very small dice, which is where we actually get the term diced, like diced meat or diced vegetables. That's where we get it. Then toss those into a pot along with the butter, the clove, the 2 small onions, and the salt. Then set that over medium heat and let it cook for a couple of minutes as the meat
What the heck kind of pot is he cooking that in? It looks like, it's weird. Like, I would think it would be like a pan or a wok, but that's like a ceramic pot he put on the stove. I don't even have one like that.
Juices. As it mixes with the melting butter, it should come to resemble a very thin gravy, and here you can pour in the water. Let the pot come to a simmer, then reduce the heat so it is just barely simmering, and set the lid on and let it simmer for 30 minutes. Now the recipe says that you want to skim off all of the fat as it's simmering. That is easier said than done. I tried some. There is an easier way to do this, which we will get to later on. So let the broth simmer on low for 30 minutes, then remove it from the heat and set up a strainer over a pot and pour the liquid through the strainer. Now a lot of the recipes from this period have you strain it through a tammy cloth or another type of cloth, and you will get more of the particles out, but Soyer is specific in saying that he finds that that ruins the flavor, so I am just using a mesh strainer. Once strained, you can set it aside to cool, and once it's cooled, it will be easier to skim off the fat. In fact, you can even put it in the refrigerator to speed up that process, and you'll get more of the fat off of the top. And then at this point, you're probably asking, well, what do I do with all that beef that's left over? Well, a lot of writings from the time actually say that it's basically useless at this point because all of the nutrients have been sucked out into the beef tea, so it can be like used for dog food or something like that. But that's not true, and a lot of people then knew that's not true. There is still a lot of nutrients left in the beef, So you can actually turn it into like pies, meat pies and stuff like that. Or one recipe from Isabella Beeton, who wrote Victorian England's most popular cookbook. She gives an alternative way to use the leftover meat. And she actually quotes Sawyer's recipe. She makes some changes to it, giving us more specifics, like exactly how much butter and stuff to use. But at the end of the recipe, she says the meat left from beef tea may be boiled a little longer and pounded with spices, etc. for potting. It makes a very nice breakfast dish. Potted meat is a way of preserving meat, usually kind of by hashing it or making it very, very small, and then packing it tightly into a jar and pouring fat over it. And
I've never heard of that at all. And she's saying use it as a breakfast meat in a breakfast dish. Huh. I want to know, so what does this taste like, this tea that he made? He actually try it? Does he actually try it? Dude, why is this video so long? Here it is. Oh, it looks so disgusting. Oh no, it looks so bad.
Mix Campbell's beef broth, 2 cans chilled, 1 can of ice water, 1/3 cup fresh lemon juice. Shake, enjoy. No, I don't think I will. I've never really wanted a cocktail that was known as beefy. And yet, my beef tea should be about ready to drink, so here we go. So once your beef tea has cooled, it's much easier to skim the fat off the top. Then it can be reheated and it's ready to drink. And here we are, Victorian beef tea. So I put it into this glass just so you could kind of see what it looks like. It is murky, it's not clear. If you put it through a cloth, it would have been clearer. And it's very light in color. If you make it using like beef extract, like Bovril or something, usually it's darker. But this old recipe, light beef tea.
Gonna barf. Gonna drink it and barf.
It smells like beef bouillon. That's actually really nice. That's like, on a cold evening, that would be wonderful to have. I mean, does it taste like tea? No, not at all, because there's no like tea leaves in it. But it also doesn't taste like bouillon or beef stock or something like that. It's much lighter in flavor. It's not really beefy. It's more, I mean, you just get a hint of it. There's like this kind of...
Dude, why? He's trying to spin it like it's good. You know it's not good. It's not going to be as strong as beef bouillon or beef broth because you filtered it. You filtered it out. So it's a diluted beef beverage is all it is. I mean, I don't know why they ever drank that, but okay. All right, let's continue. Let's go.
2 breakfast favorites are joining forces. Should they, though? I know. Hormel Black Label is releasing bacon that tastes like Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Richie does not like that. The thick-cut bacon said to be coated with a blend of cinnamon and sugar, creating a crispy, sugary crust when cooked. It'll be available for a limited time at Walmart stores starting September 16th.
So, okay, let's ask the chat about this, okay? What do you think about bacon being combined with sweet flavors? For example, something that's becoming increasingly more popular here in the United States is candied bacon. Bacon that's cooked with like sugar, and it's caramelized sugar, so it becomes like candy on the outside of the bacon, right? What do you think about that? Do you think that this is good? At all? What about this one where they're combining cinnadust? So it's cinnamon sugar flavored on top of the bacon. Well, I should say on edge. It's probably on the edge of the bacon. So you cook it like that, right? So here's the thing. I think the reason that people got this idea is because traditionally a breakfast in the United States is bacon as the side meat, but then you would have that with, say, pancakes with butter and syrup, or you would have like waffles with butter and syrup. And when you have that mix of sweet with the savory. Like you eat the bacon, but then you eat the bite and you get that sweet mixed in with the salty, savory meat. And I think that people have started to combine this in their head, the sweet maple flavor with the bacon. So I kind of understand that. But then I think people just kind of take it to the extreme, right? Like people eating candied bacon. I'm just eating the candied bacon, right? Instead of taking, okay, these flavors combine because that's the breakfast dish. Instead, let's just make those things together at all times. I think that's weird, right? I think that's bizarre. I don't know. Like, would I want the combined flavors of Cinnamon Toast Crunch and bacon? Maybe I'd like to have bacon and then have a bowl of Cinnamon Toast Crunch with it, you know, as a full breakfast. But I don't know if I need to have the flavors combined on the bacon itself. I don't know. I don't know. It's very, I don't know. I wonder if that would taste good. Maybe it would. At least all it is, it's a dusting, right? It's like the coating on the bottom edge of the bacon is that. It's not like it's soaking in this like liquid of goo that's disgusting and full of sugar. You know what I mean? It's just like a little coating on the outside. I don't know. That's a question mark for me. I don't know if I would like that or want to try that or not. But apparently it's already out. If this is from this year, it's already out. Top 5 rage quits. Okay.
Taking them for a ride, baby. Oh!
Top 5 rage quits. What's funny is this guy isn't even good. You saw that? He's like not even good, and people rage quit? That's fucking pathetic. Why would you even rage quit?
That's the first rage quit, baby. Out of here. Oh, look at you, Captain Disconnect. Oh, yeah.
Another guy who's not good. He got rage quit on.
Yeah. Our first rage quitter. Yeah.
Did anyone rage quit on me in the Marvel collection? And I mean, when I'm destroying people, I'm just utterly ripping them a new butthole. So I don't know. I don't think anyone rage quit on me, did they? I can't remember.
Get his ass.
Oh, it's L.I. Joe, who actually knows how to play. So
Why?
ROM Infinite, which I can't do. I'm too fucking I'm too rusty to do it. That's a tasty one. That's a tasty
so you've
rage
never
quit.
played Marvel 2 before? Oh, I get it. Yeah, you've never played this game before. It makes perfect sense.
Blackheart Infinite? Will he catch him with the Blackheart Infinite? What's going on? No, he's the Magneto player. Yeah, that's the Magneto player. He has the wrong assist. Yeah, that's it for Cable. You got the wrong assist. You don't want Cable assist with that team.
No way. No way.
Yeah, that's lame that he quit like that. That's totally lame that he quit
Bruh,
like that.
Come on, man. This is why I can't play no net play, bruh.
Why'd he tag out? What's going on? Oh, he had an also OTG combo there with Doom. That would have been nice. Dan OTG. That's Banana Dan. I like that color. Banana Dan. Plant him into the rocks. This is Philly. Why is this a rage quit? Oh, that's Justin Wong. I didn't even notice. I didn't even look. It's Justin Wong playing. Why would this guy rage quit? He's trying to slam people into Doom with Dan to try to do a reset combo. Just messing around. Why is he gonna rage quit? I'm so confused. Why play if you're gonna play this long? Why would you play this long and then rage quit? You should have rage quit way earlier than this.
No. Dan?
I don't know why.
You rage quit against Dan?
I don't think anyone rage quit against me in the game yet, and my ass whoopings I was dealing was way more serious than any of those. So I don't know. Let's see here. Oh, I see. Someone tipped $1 and said, in regards to the Mega 64 video that was submitted, do I intend to watch Neon Genesis Evangelion before I watch the Mega 64 stuff? No, it's just that since I haven't seen it, I'm not going to enjoy the Mega 64 parody stuff because I won't understand it. Like, if I had watched that anime in its entirety and then I watched them doing their abridged funny version, I'd probably like it. But I've never seen the anime fully. I've only seen a few episodes, so it wouldn't make sense for me to watch it. I don't get it. I don't get the references or anything, right? The jokes will not hit because I don't understand it. So in that regard, like, for example, if they were doing something with Dragon Ball, I've seen all of Dragon Ball Z. I understand the whole series. That would make sense. The references would hit. It's not going to make sense if I watch it for an anime I haven't seen yet, right? Get it? Okay, let's continue. Next video.
Okay, folks, here's the video you've been waiting 2 years for. The final episode of the Warlord Titan building and painting series. My name's Guy, you're watching Midwinter Minis. This video has been sponsored by Incogni, and in this episode, I'm going to write the names of over 1,300 people who helped make this whole project happen. As this will be the final part of the series, there might be a few new pairs of eyes on this video, so here's a quick recap for you. 2 years ago, as the channel started nearing 1,000 supporters on Patreon, I made a promise that if we hit that milestone, I'd buy the biggest, most ridiculous Warhammer model ever made, the Mars Pattern Warlord Titan from Forge World, which, all in all, when you factor in buying the model, the head, the arm weapons, and the shoulder weapons, comes in a whopping £1,557.50 in the UK.
Which would be probably around $2,000 here in the United States. The price of like a gaming rig.
Or $2,400
there
in
you
the
go.
USA.
Yeah.
Or $3,258 in Australia. Jesus. So the channel hit the 1,000 Patreon supporter milestone. I made good on that promise. And in between making 70 other non-Titan videos since then, I've been slugging away in the background on this project, working on it bit by bit.
How big is this thing?
From trimming and cleaning the parts, bending the wonky bits back into shape, gluing and more
It doesn't
gluing
look
and
very
drilling
big.
it all together.
The way he was talking, I thought it was huge. This doesn't actually look that big, right? This looks like it's actually kind of small for that price.
Waiting for a missing part, making a creative, fun base, painting the understructure and weapons, and painting all the armor panels that cover the body. And we're finally here. Just a few things to do until I can finally tick this off my to-do list once and for all.
It's not that big, but in truth, there's like models right now, collectible models that sell for that much at that size point. I know for a fact. I've seen them online, like $2,000, model that's like 3 feet tall, but it's super highly detailed, articulated, or whatever. It's the market for collectibles is insane right now. Really, it's wildly insane.
Call it done. So I had this idea of having banners, or maybe purity seals, all over the Titan, as well as a few ridiculously huge hanging banners like the old epic scale Titans used to have back in the day, with the names of all of the channel's Patreon supporters on there, as a tribute to them, and a big thank you from me for helping me make this whole thing happen. Now, I was just going to find a nice font and print them all off, but then I thought, is that a bit impersonal? I mean, maybe. This has been a giant project full of pushing myself and testing myself. Before I made this ridiculous thing, the biggest model I'd ever made was this Orc Stomper, and the most complicated, and a final coat of gloss varnish to seal the deal. We did a bit of research, and apparently adjacent missiles don't fire simultaneously in real missile launchers, so we glued them all in a pattern that makes it look like a few have been fired, but in a realistic way. Realistic for a walking war machine the size of a skyscraper in a grimdark future where it'll be fighting demons and angry green dudes and sleepy Egyptian robots. As I said, realism is important to us here at Midwinter Minis. Steve also heard how long these banners had taken and dropped by to help add a few dashes of visual spice to the Titan in its final day of prep, while I was still busy bannering. He revisited the glow effect on the Sun Fury weapon, reinforcing the green
That's
with a
cool.
few layers
Did you
of
see
white
what he did with the
and
gun?
fluorescent.
He made the tip is dark because it's supposed to be like the soot or smoke from it firing, and then he made it look more metallic on the back, so it looks realistic.
Greens and yellows, even firing a small amount of the green at the armor panels facing the gun for a bit of subtle thrown light. He gave the random lenses around the model a fast but effective paint job, base coating with a deep red, adding a crescent of orange towards the top, focusing into an almost white point at the tip of the arc,
Cool.
and then giving everything a deep red wash again. Hot. To add a bit of fun to the shield generators up on top, but without getting lost in the electric blues of the trims, he base coated the recessed areas with white ink and then airbrushed them with fluorescent magenta. Highlighted again with white ink and airbrushed some fluorescent yellow, and then did a few more careful touch-ups with magenta again.
Just
And it
look like
looks
they're hot.
ridiculously good. All the metal parts like the banner rails and mounts got the same treatment as the Titan's understructure, so
Cool.
gluing, making mistakes, fixing mistakes. Obviously needs a matchup against my scratch-built Orc Great Gargants. That's why I built this monster after all. But that probably wouldn't give you a good idea of what it actually does in the game. It's about 6,000 points, I think, so how about putting it up against two separate 3,000 point armies and see how it fares? One thing's
is
for sure,
this- Is this actually in scale and perspective to the real minis? So he's saying this is supposed to be an insanely huge mech suit, right? Like it's a giant monstrous robot compared to the little ones that are the ones that actually are part of real Warhammer, correct? So I think that's what he's saying. That's why it's so expensive, because it's ridiculously huge. Now, is he going to use that playing the game? That'd be cool. Roll that fucker in. Okay. Probably time for one more video, unless I don't know if I'm going to split. Let's see.
Hey, what's going on, guys? I want to show these paychecks off. I've covered up all the important information. And the second time making the video, because I put these post-its on there and you were able to actually see through it, so I had to mark it out. But this is of a player, played for the Bucks. You can see the check was made out in 2004. This paycheck was for the amount of $170,000, so it's a lot of money. But let's see exactly how much money he made. Pay period ending in 10/22/2004. Not sure how often they get paid.
How do you get this? If he's not the quarterback or the player, excuse me, not quarterback. If he's not the player whose check this is, how do you get a copy of this, right?
Well, there's a pay period ending in, here's a 2005 check. Okay. Let's go ahead and look at this. I'm hoping none of this information up here is important, but here's the Buccaneers information. This player was taxed at the single rate at this time. He did earn $270,000 for that pay period. Year to date was $1.4 million. Here's some of the what he was paid on, I guess. Never seen a paycheck this large before. Mine are a little bit smaller than this. So yeah, that seems like a lot of money, right? So let's say year to date, $1.4 million, which is a lot of money. Let's go down here to some of the
look at that federal income
and,
tax. Oh my
federal
God.
Income tax for this pay period was $93,000.
Wow.
Year to date was $470,000. So if you think about it, it's a third.
Yeah, he paid a third. That's what they always say. The income tax is about a third. Federal income tax in the U.S. is about a third of what you make. And there you go. Even this guy who's a NFL player, he's paying that.
Of what was what he had earned that year. Medicare tax, $3,000, almost $4,000, $22,000 for the year. It's ridiculous. MO, state income tax, Missouri, Montana, maybe Missouri, not sure. Social Security tax, California state income tax, which is crazy because this player lives in Florida.
Yeah, why is he paying all this state income tax? I wonder why.
Louisiana, Maryland.
Weird.
Here's some of the other deductions. Looks like they're getting charged for hotel stays, which is crazy.
Weird. $170,000? What's that for?
Yeah, I'm not sure what all of this stuff is.
Yeah.
It's like you paid in $13,000.
It's just weird. Like, this is what they made, or this is what they paid. If $13,000 going into the 401k, but what is sweet payments of $50,000? What does that even mean?
To 401k. I think the NFL is pretty generous. I think they match up to 200%. Not sure how that works, but that's what I read online. So yeah, that's a paycheck from the NFL. I'm sure direct deposit. Most players have a direct deposit, even back in 2004. So yeah, that's I think it's pretty cool. I've never seen a NFL paycheck.
Yeah, but it's like, where did he get this from? Disturbing. Like, can anyone just find a fucking paycheck lying around? Like, do you really want someone finding your paycheck from 20 years ago and then putting it on the internet? Like, what the hell is this? Right? You didn't put the guy's name, thankfully, but still, it's like, that's messed up. How do you even get that information? Right? Let's keep rolling because we're going to end in about 15 minutes. Let's just make one longer video this week for the last one rather than, let's just keep going. That way I don't have to split the part or nothing, right? Just keep going forward. I think that makes more sense. Okay. Yeah. Someone just did another $1 again about the Mega 64 video, saying, can they submit more Mega 64 videos like that in the future? I mean, you can. You absolutely can. I'm not saying that I'm against them or that I won't enjoy them. That particular one, I watched a little bit. I was like, okay, but, you know, moved on. And typically we don't, as you can see, we don't usually watch too much of every video anyway. It just so happens there was 1 or 2 videos this time I did watch more of because they interested me. Okay, thanks for the $1 tip.
As a professional pet groomer, I strive to do what is best for the dog based on the breed that they are. This is Harper, and he is a 2-year-old, very matted Samoyed. First, I'm going to start with the bath. I'm going to make sure that he is clean,
shower the dog,
and I'm going to condition his body, specifically the areas where he is very matted. Harper's owners called me in a panic because their regular groomer wanted to shave his entire body. Oftentimes, when dogs are matted, the most humane thing you can do is shave them and start over. But in this case, Harper is a double-coated dog, and shaving it can severely damage his coat, resulting in patchy hair loss or alopecia, and it can also affect his ability to regulate his own body temperature. A double coat does the same thing as what
That's a good dog. He's behaving. I mean, yeah, she chained him in the shower, but he's behaving nicely. What a good dog.
Insulation does in your home.
No, I do not have a dog. I have a cat. I do not have a dog.
It keeps them cool in the summer and warm in the winter. So if you own a double-coated dog, you should never shave them.
Hi. You are a mess, like an absolute disaster.
When I am speaking about double-coated dogs, I'm referring to dogs that shed, such as Samoyeds, Pomeranians, German Shepherds, Labradors, Golden Retrievers, etc. I sprayed him down in our deep conditioner, focusing on the areas that are matted.
Now it's time
and
for
now I am
his
blow
doggy
drying him with the
hair
high-velocity
hair
dryer.
drying. Yes.
He is not a
Look,
fan
she
of
has
the
a
happy
cute
hoodie,
hat on.
so I remove it for his comfort. The reason I did not remove the mats before his bath is because I'm going to allow the dryer to do some work for me. A powerful dryer will pull the mats away from the skin, which will allow me to get underneath them with a longer blade or use a dematter. In some areas, the matting is very severe, and I will not be able to get through it with a brush, so I shave out just those spots. The reason for Harper's matting is a very common mistake that I see often with pet owners.
Okay.
When you own a long-haired breed like this, and you allow them to go swimming, they will rub themselves all over the grass when they're trying to get dry. The same goes for when you bathe them, and they run around your house rubbing on everything, and you always think it's so adorable. The problem with this is that it causes cement-like mats very quickly. It's important that you fully blow dry your dog after they've been wet if they are long-haired to prevent this from happening.
Wow.
In Harper's case, he enjoyed his time at the cottage, and of course his owners do not have a dryer large enough in order to get him dry. I am now switching constantly between tools. I will use my scissors to split the mats and make them easier to brush. I will be using my dematter, my Christian.
So all matting means is that it's a long-haired creature. I mean, it can happen with humans too. And the hair gets so intertwined that it becomes this endless knot. And if you don't free it, it can actually like grow into itself and become like a hard lump, right? That's what a mat is in the hair of a dog or anything, right? So, yeah, that's kind of unfortunate. How much you want to bet the vast majority of people who buy these cute dogs don't do the research to find out actually how you're supposed to take care of them? How many of this breed of dog are out there with their whole bodies all matted up and knotted up and messed up, and those dogs are suffering?
Coral brush and my metal comb.
You're a disaster. I feel like it's never going to end.
After 4 hours of
4
broken pair of
hours
scissors and a little bit of tears, all of the mats were finally gone. I clipped his nails.
4 hours, that's going to be like a $2,000 bill, I bet. You're going to bill for the labor? I bet that's real expensive to have a dog groomed for 4 freaking hours.
And I shave out his paw pads. I tidy up his not-so-grinchy feet.
Again, what a well-behaved dog. He's just letting her do it.
And then I scissor up his body, doing the best I can to blend the areas that have been shaved.
Wow. It's a polar bear. Holy moly. Now look how different he looks.
I spray him down in our vanilla chai latte
That's
cologne,
awesome.
and I give him all the treats because he was exceptionally tolerant.
Yeah.
With the new merch coming out soon, for all you pet lovers,
Before and after. Wow, looks like a different dog. Watch this.
Thank
Look
you
at that.
so much for watching.
It looks like a completely different dog after that job. Wow. Holy crap. Double M says, taking my larger Malamute was around $60 to $100. Yeah, but how long was the work? No one's going to do 4 hours of work on your dog for $60. That's, I mean, a human haircut these days costs like a minimum of like $30, right? So, yeesh. Okay.
Of all the recommendations I have gotten from you, this is near the top. So many say it's the best restaurant in America.
French Laundry?
Well, I'm surprised that getting a table here is a nightmare. I started asking around, but nobody could help. With the California trip fast approaching, we still didn't have a table. It seemed like it was never going to happen. A few weeks before the trip, I was in Singapore having dinner at Zen, complaining to operations and beverage director Aaron Jacobson. He said, let me see what I can do. Next thing I know, voila, we have a table.
Ah.
Cheers, Aaron. I owe you big time. This is how I was able to get a table at one of the most famous restaurants in America, the French Laundry.
French Laundry.
French Laundry.
The French Laundry.
The French Laundry, the best restaurant in the world.
It's our last stop in this 5-part series, discovering the best 3 Michelin star restaurants in California. We started with Atelier Cran, checked out Single Thread, went to Queens and Banu, and now we are here. Welcome to Yountville, California. Before we head to our restaurant for today, we have a little detour. After all, this is Napa Valley. What better time to visit a winery?
No, we're not visiting a winery.
This
Sorry,
is,
I want to go to the
and
restaurant.
get a warm welcome from the front of
There
house
we go.
team. We have a moment of chit-chat before being led to the dining room. The whitewashed interior of this historic building is elegant and understated. And the table setting plays off the laundry theme with a traditional clothespin. Originally, this building was a saloon. Later, it became a French steam laundry. And in 1974, Antwerp Mayor Don Schmidt bought it. His plan was to turn it into a restaurant. In choosing the name, they stayed true to its roots. Don's wife Sally was a chef and a culinary pioneer who helped launch the farm-to-table movement that spawned California cuisine. Sally enjoyed a career as head chef at the French Laundry for 16 years, where she served fixed-price menus that changed every day. In 1994, a stranger rode into town, hoping to realize his vision of a French restaurant in Napa Valley. The writing was on the wall. That man's name was Thomas Keller. A deal was signed.
I just want to see the food. Let's scoop forward
Japanese
here. Here we go.
big bean squid with sweet pepper caponata, pink hopper shrimp tempura, and Pacific shima aji with broca avocado
All
mousse.
seafood.
Delicious course with 4 unique preparations. Loved it. My next drink is from Japan too. It's sake from Junmai, and it's truly something special. It's crafted by former Dom Perignon cellar master Richard Geoffroy. The story goes, when he retired from Champagne,
I don't want the
couldn't
story of
sit
the drink.
still. So he moved to
I
Japan
know how the
to
food
learn
is.
the
He's telling
art
me
of
the story of the
brewing
drink
premium
now.
sake. This is one of them.
Come on, relax
Iva
with that.
number 5. The number refers to 5 strains of yeast. Star reviews like this one, consider subscribing to our channel. In the future, a caviar dish. Is there signature
Caviar.
oysters
I've never had
and
caviar.
pearls. Sabayon of pearl tapioca with Island Creek oysters. Gorgeous plating and amazing flavors.
It's oysters
Each
with
bite
caviar.
comes with creamy sabayon with briny oysters, creating a perfect balance. It's unforgettable, and so far, this is my favorite. Our new wine is a 1954 Madeira from Anric and Anric.
You're gonna tell us how this was
Bold,
made too?
Sweet and quite acidic. This bottle is rare and
He
is in the
is.
top 1% of wines in the world. It's just an example of one of
I just
the
want to see
great
the food.
wines
I'm not
here
interested in the
at
liquor at
French
all.
Laundry. Having a lot of good wine is something they are well known for.
People come here to Napa Valley to experience the wine, and that's something we have to recognize as well.
And garden clover crops.
What is that? What is that?
It's duck diodine, stuffed with cherries and black winter truffle, with shavings of chicken liver pate, along with pastrami spices.
What is that? I
Unbelievable.
don't even know what that is. Duck
Next
something?
wine is a 2021 Costa
Stop
Blanc
it with the
Chardonnay
wine. I wanna see
from
the
Russian
food.
River Valley.
Stop
here
this.
in California.
Oh my
It's
lord,
light
dude.
and
I want to see
elegant,
food.
And pairs
I
with
want to
our
see you get
next
buzzed.
2 courses. One of them is Alaskan king crab that has been poached in sweet butter.
A tiny
served with
piece
an
of Alaskan
artichoke
king
and
crab.
lemon reduction. So far, everything has been perfect. Outstanding service, delicious cooking, and of course, good wine. Our next course is called Boudin Noir. It's buttered popcorn grits and crushed caper brown butter jus.
Buttered popcorn grits, and this isn't a real dish. Look at this. What is this? What? Would you eat that?
Interesting dish with a rich butter and nutty flavor, tempered by the zing of the capers. Our next wine is an Italian Brunello.
Dude, you get. How can you taste the food? You're on like your
It's spicy
18th cup
and
of wine.
intense,
You're like
fruit
drunk
forward
as shit.
and floral. It's paired with a dish called mac and cheese. Macaroni, black winter truffle musseline,
Whoa.
crispy parmesan, and preserved black winter truffle.
Oh my god, look at the size of the truffle they put in there. And truffles are incredibly expensive. Like that piece of truffle has to be like between $50 to $100, if not more. That's crazy.
This is a brave one, serving macaroni at a 3 Michelin star restaurant. I love it. Do you see how close together the tables are? There is little room for the servers, but they managed to move efficiently and effortlessly in this small space. When I mentioned it, I was told in the past servers had to take dance lessons so they could move gracefully in the narrow spaces of the restaurant. Fantastic. The wine I savor next is a 2019 Pinot Noir Premier Cru from producer Joseph Rotti.
Don't
Fresh
care about
black
the wine
and red
at
fruit
all.
with a long finish. It will see us through 2 courses. This is rabbit with black
lamb
mushroom
chops?
tapenade and white asparagus a la plancha.
No,
The meat
rabbit.
is tender and
Rabbit.
succulent, prepared beautifully with a delicate flavor.
Wow.
It's intensely rich and creamy. Next up is an elevated beef Wellington.
Whoa! Look at that beef Wellington.
On the plate
Brioche.
is served with wilted arrow leaf spinach and ruby beet confit.
Oh my
Simply
gosh.
irresistible.
Look at
The
that.
Wagyu is next level, and with the brioche, it's an absolute winner.
Wagyu beef with the brioche outside, which is way different from traditional Wellington. Wow.
For cheese and desserts, we are brought to the garden. Inside the restaurant is nice, but out here, it's a new world. We start with aged mimolette cheese pastry with olive tapenade. Simple ingredients that play off of each other wonderfully.
That is ridiculous. You see that? It's like cheese in a freaking, like a pastry crust.
We also have some celebrating to do. My godson Bente turned 18 a few days ago, and we are celebrating again. I'm sure this is one birthday he will never forget. Our next wine is a 2007 dessert wine from Topaz from my kind of place, Alexander Valley. A beautiful selection of desserts are last. Here we have the chef's favorite cake called Gâteau Marjolin, with layers of hazelnut, praline, chocolate, and buttercream.
So,
the classic French.
See, a place like this, what do they call this? If you go to certain restaurants, it's called tapas. And what it means is they're not giving you a full course of anything. They're just giving you food, 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 food. So you're not, like you saw, the Wellington was just one slice. They didn't give you the whole Wellington, right? It was a slice of the Wellington. But that's okay because you've been eating so many courses, so much food is coming your way. You're not hungry. You're not, oh, I want more of that. No, you have more coming. So you have to just keep eating slowly different things that are coming to you, and then you're full by the end. That's the tapas style. Let's see here. Darkside Child returns to the dollar since submitting this video elevator scene for Neon Genesis Evangelion would be acceptable. It's acceptable, but it doesn't mean I'm gonna like it and watch the whole thing. If I watch it and I'm not intrigued or don't understand what it is, I might skip past it. Are Ultra members able to have their videos fully watched if it's under 15 to 10 minutes? It's not how it works. It's guaranteed to be watched. It's not guaranteed I'm going to watch the whole thing. Chances are if there's an Ultra member video and it's like 5 minutes long, I'm probably going to watch the whole thing. But if it's like 10, 15 minutes, you got to understand it's only a 3-hour show that I do. We got to keep it moving. So I recommend, you know, if you want to get your whole video watched, keep it like 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, for Ultra members. Are you allowed to submit same videos that weren't fully watched for future reactions? Depends on the video. For example, that Neon Genesis Evangelion video you submitted, I probably wouldn't want to watch that one again because I got as far as I could before I was like, I don't really get it anymore, right? But other videos, for example, there's a Porch Pirates video that people keep resubmitting. I want to watch it again one of these weeks, but just the randomizer hasn't hit it again yet. But I would at least like to watch it again at some point. So people keep resubmitting it, and I'm okay with that. So, okay. All right, let's finish this, right?
French Laundry coffee and donuts also make an appearance with the semi-freddo dessert. We also have a candied sugar-baked red rhubarb with ginger cream and honeycomb, and a cross between tangerine and mango sorbet. And
Wow.
finally, caramels, chocolates, and macarons.
Macaroons.
You have a good time? Yes, amazing. Who comes out next? The chef de cuisine, David Breton. Unfortunately, we need to head to the airport, so we only have a few minutes. In that time, we learn he is laid back and down to earth as he tells us about his hobby, taking photos. Since then, he has noticed much more beauty in life. He sees light, clouds, and shadows in a whole new way. When I asked him how he got started in it, the conversation turned to the kitchen. He wanted to give more precise manuals to his colleagues.
So how do I teach people? So I said, I'm going to make a book. I'm going to start the photography so I can show the critical point.
This is the mentality of a successful person.
Number one goal, serve the guest. Number one goal. Number two goal, serve the team. That's it. We take care of the guests, we take care of the team, everything else will typically sort itself out.
It's no wonder that the founder and chef Thomas Keller chose.
I don't understand why number one goal isn't make filthy, dirty money and cut every corner possible to be insanely filthy rich, over the top, crazy, lucrative job. I don't understand. Because isn't that how most companies operate? How could that possibly work in any kind of a business model? I mean, it's only the most successful restaurant in the entire fucking world. What do they know, right? All right, guys. I think that's it for DSP versus the internet this week. I want to say thank you to everyone who hung out, everyone who supported, everyone who's a member and who has provided these videos for me to watch, everyone who supported the stream today and kept the King streak alive. I appreciate all of you. And next week, we will do it all again. Same time, same place, right here on DSP Reacts. I'll see you next time. Peace out, everybody.